Right, Fresh and Fit, the manosphere, the greatest thing that ever happened to men since toxic masculinity. Let's talk about the boys and Fresh and Fit, the alpha males, the high value men of society. So apparently they're under fire because of this following comments regarding black women. Black women, get ready to fuck them up. There we go, sharing. Oh, let me give you some background. So there was a rapper named Asian Doll. I don't know her. Maybe you do. She went into the podcast. She was 2 hours late, and then she was having side conversations with another guest. Then after like 3 minutes, literally in the same podcast, the podcast is 2 hours and 7 minutes. She comes in at the 2 hour mark, and then she leaves at the 2 hour and 7 minute mark. She lasts in there for like 7 minutes. That part, I do not blame them, because if we had a guest and they were 2 hours late and then she was having sidebar conversations, it doesn't matter if she was a woman or a man. I think we would probably say something about it or be like, hey,
disrespectful. Yeah, you just waste that time.
Yeah, you're wasting our time. Or like, not even come at that point. The podcast is 2 hours and 7 minutes. Don't come. Just forget about it. Thank you very much. So that part, whatever, they're fine. I agree with them. The part that has people furious at them is what they said regarding black women. Oh, let me share this.
Let's hear it.
That one, bro, but hey, man.
So here they're talking about the app called Black. Oh, there we go.
The app called Black. It's funny, I never used that one, bro, but hey, man. I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man. Look, we should. Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders. No, so I'm good. Sometimes if they're, red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark, if you know what I'm saying. Yep. When it comes to dating and your personal preferences, there's no one bats an eye. When women say I want a man that's 6 feet tall, makes a certain amount of money, blah, 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 those are considered preferences. But if I say, hey, man, I don't date black girls like that. Oh, God. You hate black women. Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. My mom's black. Your mom's black. Yeah. My sister's black. Like, bro, we just have a preference. Not the same thing.
Okay, so I think as Preach was saying, it's not the same thing. There's a significant difference in what they were talking about. For example, if you were to ask me, Jose, you don't even have to have a reason. If you ask me, Jose, do you date black girls? And I said, no, I prefer Hispanic girls. What's the reason? Why do you prefer Hispanic girls? I don't know. I just prefer Hispanic girls. I like them. There's nothing wrong with that. I said nothing wrong. But you don't have to demean black women. I don't have to say, well, because Hispanic women are just superior to every other race, and every other race is pathetic, and I don't want to fucking date trash. That's extra. So, your thoughts?
I'm trying to be politically correct here.
I mean, I think we're in the side that everybody.
I get the backlash. I get the backlash in terms of before they made their comments the derogatory way.
Yeah.
Whereas like they use common black girl names as a reason for, or as a descriptor of black women, and like, I mean, you're down for Monique or whatever, then that's on you. I'm not down for the brown like that, right? Yeah. But I do believe they have their preferences. They should have approached their preferences not derogatorily. Had they not done that, or had they not just given their opinions anyway, had they just shown what they was into, like, with their girlfriends or whoever they end up being with in the future or whoever they bring on, I feel like that solves a lot of the issues.
Let me show this one last clip, because actually this is the part that I think people went into. Walter, the guy that, bro, he sleeps with 1,000 women a year, by the way. I hope you understand that. Do you sleep with 1,000 women a year? You think it's even possible for a man to sleep with 1,000 women a year?
1,000 women a year?
Yeah, it's not possible, bro. You don't have enough time in a year to sleep with 1,000 women. Mathematically, it's impossible.
Threesomes you have to have.
What happened?
How many threesomes do you have to have, or orgies you have to be invited to? It's possible.
Look,
it depends where you count as sex. If you count sex as just the
looking at females.
I don't know. If you count sex as the tip in or getting head or whatnot, and you take into account how many orgies famous people or people that have that kind of connection might have. Is it possible? Yes. In a year, probably not.
Is it probable?
It's not probable. It's not probable.
Right, because it's
possible. Yes.
Yeah,
probable,
it's possible to win the lottery, but it's not probable.
It's not very probable. Yeah.
This is the last clip, and then we can move on from this.
I don't really date black girls. No, because like most
black girls. Sorry.
What does the future of
5 seconds?
Oh man.
I don't pay for YouTube.
It's like annoying. How to put this? Rap.
So this is Walter describing black women. Yeah. This is
shit, and they don't know how to like be reserved. You're like the complete opposite.
You are not the stereotype. You are not the. That is not.
So he basically said, "You're not the stereotype. You're not ghetto. You're not vulgar." And bro, he basically used a lot of demeaning words. I know that you didn't hear it because the freaking ad came out of nowhere, but it was just unnecessary. Like it is also because it's the type of woman that they deal with. There was a clip where he was talking about like, oh, it's always black women, the ones that we kick out, but they have kicked out Hispanic women and white women, but they don't say nothing about them. But it's also the type of females that they bring on the podcast. Because if you really vet a woman, you can't be kicking out a woman every freaking 5 minutes. And the type of like Instagram models, OnlyFans girls, like they're all the same. They all act the same. The only difference is just, I guess, their skin color is the same, but it's not the same type of woman that, I don't know, that average guys deal with.
Here's my question. Here's a hard question. You ready for this question? It's a hard question. This is where the podcast will get spicy.
Oh. That's where I got in trouble. Go ahead.
They both come from black families.
Yes. Okay.
Well, and they're speaking on things that they witness within their culture.
Okay.
So when they're saying stuff about the stereotype or the attitude or whatever, do you think that it's possible that it's coming from a place of knowledge, like a place where they've dealt with the experience, like they live with that, they've lived with that, those kind of experiences, and that's what they're making the comments they're making. It would have been a lot worse if it was someone, they said something along the lines of, my mother is black, your mother is black, and you could just bring that down the line. It's like, I have a black family, I have, black parents, black cousins, black sisters and stuff like that, right? And I would imagine, I don't know. They could have been, their parents could be black and he was raised in a very white neighborhood. I do not know. But what I am saying is, if they were born and raised within that type of environment and they're making these comments, there might be a possibility they're making the comments off of their own experiences, not just stereotypes and what they see out in the world.
They're definitely making those comments based off of their experiences, because it's also who they also invite, right? I mean, the females that they invite are essentially the same. But I think the problem people are having is the girls, the only difference between those girls that they invite is just their skin color. There was another like really ratchet Hispanic girl that went into the show. It's really freaking ratchet. Like she was an OnlyFans model from the get-go. First 3 minutes, just ghetto trash. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm Hispanic. I can say it. And people are saying, well, why are you picking on black women where other races go into the show, they act the same, but you're just attacking one group? Because if that was the case, wouldn't they say, well, all girls are kind of like ratchet and this and that? Why are you speaking on us? Meaning us being black.
Well, and this is not me defending them before anyone gets on my neck. I'm from what you show me about Fresh and Fit, what you have shown me about from Fresh and Fit and whatnot, is that they have picked out multiple girls, not just black girls. That is one. They have picked out ratchet girls or ghetto girls, right? That is those things to add. And if they feel like a specific kind of girl, usually it's that they act that type of way around them. Then there's, again, they speak on experiences. It's not directly. It might not be as racist as people are trying to make it out the same. It could be a more experience based than people are willing to give them credit for. And it might not be. It could be the complete opposite, and they're just complete racist douchebags. But there's a possibility that the way they're acting, the way they're acting, the way they're speaking is because they were surrounded by a certain environment before.
Yeah.
And that environment is still within them, and that's why they're speaking the way they're speaking now.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right on that point. There was someone that used to work with them who said that Myron, the fit guy, he said that he believes like all women are trash, which that's always the vibe that I get from them. Like they have a specific view on females, and it's just I think it's exaggerated on that show because of the type of females that they meet. I don't know if you know.
No. I think they use the women that they meet on the podcast as the mechanism, as the machine that makes the podcast as big as it is.
Oh,
I don't think
100%.
But I don't. But
100%.
But there, think of the woman as it sounds very bad to say like this. Think of the woman that they bring onto the podcast as the paint, and they're the brushes. And what they try to do every time they bring the woman onto the podcast is to dip into the paint and paint a picture so that people, their audience, can see a specific thing. But their audience is also people that look at females the exact same way.
Yeah.
It's almost like when women hate on men, like those feminists, like all men are trash, or the pay gap or whatever. Like there's certain feminists that they're exact same way, live in their own little bubble. Right. And whatever people say that it could be right or wrong, that bubble won't be popped because they live in an echo chamber, and they refuse to look at the world from a nuanced perspective. Not like the way I'm viewing their points from a nuanced perspective.
Yeah.
I don't, maybe because I don't take it super personally, whatever they say, and people did take what they said super personally. I don't view Auburn Preach or whatever the fuck their name.
Yeah.
The Freshandfits, excuse me. I don't view them as the arbiters of cool. I don't view them as the arbiters of how men should look at females. And I can look at what they say and just actually try to break down what they're saying and not have an emotional reaction. So that's why I came up with the options for why that might be happening.
And you're right. I mean, you're extra right on that point about the women being the paint, because if you look at their channel, they have two podcasts. They have one in the morning where they basically discuss finances and other stuff, and then at night they have the show with the woman. And if you look at the numbers, I mean, one podcast has like 20,000 views, 15,000 views, and the other one has 500K, a million views. And the most popular views that they have, the most popular podcasts, are the one where they kick out women. So obviously that he's constantly on the lookout to see who he can kick out, because that is what pays him the most. So, and you're also right with the experiences thing. So
I feel like the whole kind of cultural meta that's going on now with men and women is a constant battle of who can take back power when there's no power to really take in the first place. But it seems that we're like, for instance, with Fresh and Fit, them kicking out a woman is akin to them taking back power that they might feel they don't have, or them kicking out people or females from the podcast makes other men feel like they're taking back their power. Say, oh no, I can still do this, I can still do that. I'm a human, but I feel like that it comes from a response from, some of the feminist movements that were going on, where they demean men. So men have been getting demeaned for about 10 years since fucking what's her name? Miley Cyrus is swinging on a fucking wrecking ball. It's been like a decade of men being demeaned in certain ways, and
even now.
Yeah, so that's why it's catching up. Where it's like it seems like as if men are trying to take back power, or certain men are trying to take back power, but the illusion of the power of whatever it's stupid. Like that's not even a real thing.
I mean, even to your point, I mean, it's happening even now. I mean, men are seen as, men are not seen as the most positive light. It's kind of like they're the enemy, like they're dangerous at all points. Which from the perspective of a female, I can understand how you can view men, especially if you're by yourself, you can view them as a potential threat because, the strength differences and yada, yada, yada. But it's just kind of like Titan nowadays. And I think there's definitely a market for men who want to see females being kicked out or being put in their place. per se.
Yeah.
I think that's why that type of content is blowing up so much. So,
but with those kind of videos, you risk hatred towards you on a constant basis. So it's gonna happen to them. I think they'll continue to grow.
oh yeah,
I
they're
think,
going.
I think they'll continue to grow. I think that they'll continue. I think they'll be how many subscribers they have? I think they'll pass Auburn Breach.
Well, right now they're at 500,000. Auburn Breach is like close to 2 million right now.
I think that it's crazy. It's gonna sound crazy to say. Fresh and Fit are bigger than Auburn Breach. You know that? They're bigger. They have more of a reach than Auburn Breach do right now. And they'll continue to grow. And they're doing it with a podcast. A podcast that gets 500,000 views is bigger and more powerful than a video that gets 1 million views. It's only 10 minutes long. You don't have to invest so much time into that video. But a podcast that can do 500,000 views, 600 million views. A podcast that can hit 1 million views, and people are listening to an hour-long podcast about that shit, is much more powerful or much more impactful than a slow 10-minute video.
But I think people watch. Just that specific point. Like they will see the 2-hour podcast, Bane will get kicked out, and they just go in the comment section, find the timestamp, and just watch that 5 minutes, 10 minutes when they got kicked out. I mean, I don't know.
I think people are obsessed with the whole process of a man putting women inside their place sometimes.
Oh yeah. I mean, I agree with you 100%.
It's like porn. It's like porn to them. They'll just listen to that shit for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I agree with you. In that point. There's like a massive market on it, and just taking advantage of men from that perspective.
Is there anything else?
Let me check. We can do. Want to do one more, and that's it.
What's next? What will be the next topic?
Let's see. Well, there was either the copyright thing with that is happening with
Pokemon,
and then there's the son and husband thing, which is a longer discussion that I would like to have with you. I would like to ask you questions about that because I think
son and husband.
Son husband. No, son husband.
Son husband. Let's take a break for right now.
Okay.
And we can have that conversation. What time is good for you? 8 o'clock. Your time sounds good to you?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know today because today I have to pick up a few things.
So we can save it for Wednesday on the podcast for Wednesday.
Okay, we can just save it for then. Let me just say that.
All right. So
yeah,
have your brother save these clips. I'll have my girl make the thumbnails and whatnot. So we have the Drake, we have AOC. We have the Drake, we have politics, politics, and Auburn Preach.
More fresh and fit.
Fresh and fit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, brother.
There's been some good videos.
Take care. The other video is already up, right? The other podcast is already up, by the way.
Yeah, I've been trying to share it out as much as possible. Oh, the audio. Is the audio live?
No, you mean no, there's a new one. The one that we talked about, Solution 19.
Oh, you put it's live already?
No, it's not live, but it's up. And it also a clip finding behind it. There's a clip. Right, it's not
okay.
The podcast. Right. Okay.
Okay, so that's it. That one's going up tomorrow, right?
Yeah. What time do you want me to put it? 12, I guess.
You put for 8 a.m. I like to post it early because I get the most interactions early on my Instagram and whatnot.
Okay. All right, then I'm gonna do that right now before I hit the fuck out.
All right.
All right, brother. Take care.
Talk to you. Bye.
Bye.